Let's jump to this story. This one's really interesting. It's political, but not related to the debates or anything. Justice Department sues SpaceX for discriminating against asylees and refugees in hiring. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk hires too many American citizens. For this, he is being sued. The DOJ filed a lawsuit today. By the federal government. Yep.
Department of Justice.
It said from September 2018 to May 2022, SpaceX routinely discouraged asylees and refugees from applying and refused to hire or consider them because of their citizenship status in violation of the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA. In job postings and public statements over the several years, SpaceX wrongly claimed that under federal regulations known as export control laws, SpaceX could hire only U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents, sometimes referred to as green card holders. Export control laws impose no such hiring restrictions. This is absolutely insane.
SpaceX is one of the biggest contractors with the U.S. government. I mean, it's literally NASA. It's essentially it's the reason that Americans can get into space. It's this again. I think this is political. I think this is the federal government going after Elon Musk because they don't like the things that he's doing in other areas. I don't think that it has anything to do with SpaceX behavior.
You think they're mad about the block button?
Yeah,
you bring that back right now.
That's probably what it
Maybe
is.
Twitter files too. I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's the long and short of it as far as I'm concerned.
He's cutting them off from their information pipeline.
Or is it XFiles?
XFiles now, yeah. Think about how easy it would have been if you were in the intelligence agencies to get information because you didn't need a warrant. They just handed it over.
Mm-hmm.
Now Elon is dragging his feet or outright saying no and cutting off their access. So they're like, let's get revenge. But also consider this. Think about the political ramifications here. Elon Musk didn't hire enough non-citizens for his company in the United States.
That's another thing that blows my mind. They're talking about non-citizens. There was a time where I thought it was illegal to hire people that are non-citizens. I mean, obviously.
Right. That's what I thought.
You know?
Like what? So I can just hire anybody I want now? We can get all our video editing done in Peru?
Apparently.
Save some money. Chinese video editors? So they're saying, please contact their civil rights division if you applied for a job at SpaceX and were rejected. You were discouraged from applying because you're not a U.S. citizen. That's what?
No, I love that. Civil rights. By the way, civil is part of what word? Wait, civilian.
That's right.
I'm very confused.
No,
Man.
It seems ridiculous. I mean, I think the Biden administration obviously doesn't care about the American worker. I think if he did, he would bring manufacturing jobs back from other countries. And I think this guise of being like, well, we're anti-discrimination is actually another form of let's make it more difficult for American workers to get a job. And that's kind of disgusting for this apparently working man, blue collar or whatever he claims to be president.
How big of a deal do you think immigration is going to be on the election? You think it's going to be?
It's not going to be big enough. It never is.
Right. And, Ann Coulter was saying it's the key issue, and that's the issue that helped Trump win in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not convinced. I talk to regular people, and they never tell me that's a concern they have.
What's a swing state issue? So
right, a border
will
state
Arizona be in play? I don't know. Texas is going to pretty much probably stay red, but Texas is purpling over time.
Mm-hmm.
Florida is not changing because they had a problem. Immigration worked against them. They get the wrong countries because remember they love immigration, but they don't like Cubans. Okay, as an example, because Cubans are not the right kind of immigration for them.
They vote the wrong way.
Exactly.
Somebody made a good point. Leor Engelstein in Super Chat said, alternate headline, DOJ sues SpaceX for only hiring U.S. citizens to work on potentially classified military technology.
Yeah, I thought that there would be ITAR stuff is what, I mean, that makes sense to me. International trade and arms stuff like this is all rocket technology. This stuff is all about, all of it's like got some kind of classification, whether it be secret, top secret or whatever. It's not information the feds want spread around. I don't, I figured they would have it under the ITAR stuff.
You think they care? They think they want to be secretive.
I mean, you buy night vision stuff. You're not supposed to take that out of the U.S. You can't sell it to people that aren't U.S. citizens. There's lasers and stuff there's all kinds of infrared stuff, and that's just like small arms stuff that night vision is cool, but you're not gonna get a nuclear weapon into space with them. No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it's confusing. You were in military, right?
No, I mean, not seriously. Like I was in the military when I was a kid, like in the 90s. I didn't do anything. Like there was a whole war that I had nothing to do with. So I don't like to talk about like doing anything because I did nothing. So.
Well, you and I both. Okay. I was in the 90s too, but we had ITAR and then I was working for a defense contractor. I don't know how many courses I went with ITAR. You cannot release the information to anybody. This is just a defense contractor and it could be toilet paper. They're weird about it.
I think Elon is extremely disruptive
Yep.
to a lot of the narrative machine, a lot of the establishment. And we're probably going to see a lot of moves that make no sense being made against him. This one right here makes very little sense.
It reminds me of what they're doing to Trump, right? Like
Right.
they are desperate to make something stick. They don't like people who challenge their narrative. And so anything that they can say, you know, this South African native is discriminating against immigrants at his company. Like they just want him to be the bad guy and they'll do whatever they can to get the headlines right.
I mean, and they'll keep doing this. I mean, X is paying people. This is that's huge. People are going to start using that platform for a lot of things. It's going to cause a rapid shift in our culture in that people are engagement farming and things like that. But for the most part, when we talk about how do you wake people up to what's going on politically, in the past couple of weeks, we've been saying, tell your friends and family to sign up for Twitter, aka X, because you're not going to be able to convince them Joe Biden did bad thing, but you can convince them to sign up because then they can share stuff with you. So when you're talking to your liberal aunt or uncle, and they say something like, yeah, well, Trump did this, they'll be like, oh, I didn't hear that. You'll be like, you didn't hear it? How did you not hear it? I'd be like, why don't you sign up on X? You can send it to me. Like, here, send it to me on X. Are you on X? You're not? Well, sign up so you can send me a message. Then they're going to be on. Then they'll start getting access to a wide array of information. I'm not saying to make them conservative or anything like that. It'll just make them go, oh, yeah, I did see that video. And then you can at least, you don't got to argue with them that it did or didn't happen.
Well, that's a good approach.
For that reason, yeah, I think Elon is in the crosshairs is an understatement. But I don't know what else they can do. Let's see. What
Musk can do?
No, what they can do to Musk. I mean, we'll see. Look, I think all of the stuff they're doing in terms of indictments, the targeting of all of Trump's allies and his lawyers, it's desperation. It's pure panic.
Yeah, looks like it.
I think it is for sure. I mean, that's why I am convinced that although a lot of stuff is happening to Republicans, you have to keep looking at the Democratic Party and saying you guys are going on the offensive because you actually don't want to be on the defensive because you would fail, right? You don't have a strong bench. You don't have strong candidates. Joe Biden's record is not good. And so they're actually going into this election, I feel like, and I'm not an expert, in a very weak position. And so unless they can get Trump indicted, unless they can take out this super performing candidate who is likely to win the nominee, they are sort of stuck. They need this to happen. Otherwise, what are they going to do?
Yeah. And if they can bloody him up enough and stall him enough, I mean, a lot of it is just maybe they're thinking eventually he'll give up. I don't think he will.
Run out of money?
Bud Light, Target, Sound of Freedom, Richmond, north of Richmond, cultural victories across the board. And this matters. When they say that 12th grade men are skewing conservative, consider that in the 2024 election. 12th grade boys are going to be old enough to vote. Many of them already are, and they will vote for Trump. There's a reason why they become conservative. Hey, maybe they're watching too much Andrew Tate. I think this is why for real though, the reason why they banned him so quickly and rapidly across the board. Before, like, he's gaining tons and tons of followers, but he wasn't cracking into like the political zeitgeist.
No, definitely not.
But he was building influence, and all of a sudden they just ban him everywhere. Yeah, because he's getting a bunch of young dudes to like start listening, and they're not going to vote liberal, Democrat, whatever. Can't allow that. Jordan Peterson too.
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah, not Jordan Peterson has to be re-educated.
Yeah.
That's something, man. I think that I really wish that Americans would pay a little more attention to what's going on in Canada. Because
Where?
In the hat.
America's
hat.
Canada.
So, yeah.
It's really hard. Americans have a hard time paying attention to what's going on in Canada, personally because Canada seems irrelevant to them, but also Canada is always trying to be like, but America's the crazy place. I think they like to direct attention away from themselves.
We declared our independence from Canada after inventing corn syrup because, we had to get all our maple syrup from Canada. And breakfast, what are we supposed to do? And Canada had that strangled. Then once we invented high fructose corn syrup, we could make fake syrup and put maple flavor in it. And that devastated the Canadian economy, but it freed the Americans to have breakfast.
And Vermont agreed because they were like, fine, we will be the only place you can get real maple syrup. We'll have a monopoly on it in the country.
Oh, it was big. It was big Vermont maple that spearheaded the campaign.
They were
to
like,
get a monopoly
we're in.
on maple. Now maple's super expensive,
It is.
I have
really
made all of that up. None of that's true. I'm kidding. I hope people realize that.
No, it's 100% true. Tim is a historical corn syrup, maple syrup conflict expert.
I will say we got some of Cousin T's pancake mix and stuff sent to us. I'm really excited. We're waiting for Terrence to come on down, and
Terrence is hilarious.
we're gonna make some for breakfast. So are you familiar with Terrence Williams and the thing he did with Cousin T's? So after Aunt Jemima got pulled the image from all of these, syrup bottles and boxes, he made his own pancake mix. It's actually legit. Like the ingredients are legit. It's not just like basic nothing. It's a lot better than I think than Aunt Jemima's. And he put his face on it. And it's absolutely hilarious. I am deeply offended that they removed Aunt Jemima from my pancake syrup and my pancake mix because I liked Aunt Jemima.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was just like the thing at the store with the little breakfast. I'm like, oh, look at that. And then they start removing anybody who's not white from all of these products. It's just the most racist and insane thing I've ever seen. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.